Welcome to the Wisdom Path, a place where timeless stories meet real-life lessons. Today, I will share with you a powerful tale that reveals the first truth about wealth, respect, and how to build a life of meaning. This isn't just a story, it's a mirror for your own journey. If you're ready to learn how to plant seeds of prosperity and watch them grow, stay with me. And don't forget, subscribe to the Wisdom Path so you never miss the wisdom that could change your life. Part 1. The Stone and the Seed. The first truth about wealth. Long ago, in a village tucked between dusty hills and wild rivers, lived a man named Elior. He was a humble stonecutter. Every day he walked with his tools to the edge of the mountain and carved blocks of stone under the burning sun. He didn't have much: a one-room hut, a wooden spoon, and a worn-out coat. But he had something others didn't notice: a sharp mind and a deep hunger to understand the world. One day, while working near the foot of the mountain, Elior noticed an old man watching him. The man wore robes that shimmered like water in the moonlight and leaned on a cane carved from olive wood. "You cut stone like someone carving a story," said the man. Elior laughed. "It's the only story I know: survival." The old man nodded. "Do you want to learn a different story? One that ends with gold and respect, not just tired hands and broken nails?" Elior wiped the sweat from his brow. "Of course, but I don't have time for stories. I have work." "Then I'll give you one truth," the old man said. "One truth that will change the way you live, if you understand it." He bent down, picked up a smooth river stone, and held it beside a small seed. "Both of these," he said, "can become something great, but only one can grow." Elior raised an eyebrow. "So I should choose the seed?" "Yes, because money is like a seed. If you eat it, it's gone. If you plant it, it becomes more." This was the first truth Elior learned about wealth. A small part of everything you earn is yours to keep and to grow. Every coin you earn is a chance. Most people spend every chance they get. But wise people save at least a little, not to hoard, but to grow. Elior didn't understand this at first. He lived from day to day, like many people do. But that night, he took one silver coin from his pay and placed it in a clay jar. Just one. That's all he could spare. The next day he did the same, and the next, and the next. At first, it felt small, insignificant, like a single drop in a dry well. But after a month, he had enough coins to buy a better hammer, one that didn't slip in the heat. His work became faster, his hands less tired. He earned more, and still, he saved a coin every day. Soon, he saved 2, then 3. This is how Elior began to understand something powerful. Saving isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep and grow. The river Vres, the well money, is like a river. It flows fast. It disappears quickly. You wash your face with it, drink from it, even play in it. But unless you build a well, one day it runs dry. Your savings are that well. Quiet, still, but always there when you need it. Like Brian Tracy once said, "Develop the habit of saving money. Even if it's only a little, it will make all the difference." The neighbor who laughed. One evening, Elior's neighbor, Tamar, saw him counting his saved coins. She laughed. "What are you doing? Saving pennies won't make you rich." Elior smiled. "Not today, but someday." Tamar spent all she earned on silk, wine, and sweet things. She looked rich. She felt rich. But a year later, when the river flooded and ruined her home, she had nothing to fall back on. Elior, he had his savings. He helped Tamar rebuild. And from that day on, she started saving too. Wealth doesn't begin with gold. It begins with a decision to pay yourself first, even if it's just a coin a day. Elior's journey had just begun. He hadn't found fortune yet, but he had taken the first step, understanding that no one becomes rich by what they earn, only by what they keep, grow, and protect. In Part 2, we will follow Elior as he learns how to make his money work for him, just like a strong ox pulling a cart through the mountains. Subscribe to The Wisdom Path so you don't miss the next lesson. And remember, you don't need a fortune to begin. You just need a single seed and the wisdom to plant it. Part 2. The Cart and the Climb. How money begins to work for you. A year had passed. Elior's clay jar was full. He had saved enough to fill a small leather pouch, maybe 200 silver coins. For the first time in his life, he felt proud, safe, and stuck. What now? He wondered. Should I bury it, hide it, or spend it on something big? Then he remembered the old man who had given him the seed and stone. So one morning before sunrise, he climbed the same mountain where they had met. And sure enough, the old man was there, sitting beneath an almond tree, sipping from a wooden cup. Elior opened his pouch and placed it gently before him. I've saved, just like you said, but I don't know what to do next. The old man smiled. Then you are ready for the second truth. He picked up a handful of sand and let it slip through his fingers. Silver does the same thing if you let it sit too long. It slips away, through lost chances, bad trades, and forgotten dreams. Elior's brow furrowed. So what should I do with it? The old man leaned in. Make it work. Money is a servant. It should never rest while you labor. You cut stones. Let your silver cut new paths for you. Money grows when it is put to work in safe and useful ways. This was Elior's second lesson. He thought of it like this. A farmer doesn't store his seeds in a jar. He plants them. A horse doesn't sit in the barn. It pulls the cart. So, too, should money work, quietly, patiently, and always moving forward. Back in the village, Elior spoke to Mira, a baker who was known for her warm bread and clever mind. He asked, "What do you do with the coins you save?" She replied, "I lend some to the wheat merchant in the spring when his pockets are empty, but his hope is full. In harvest he pays me back, with interest." Elior's eyes widened. "Isn't that risky?" Mira laughed. "Not if you lend to those you trust and in things you understand." That day, Elior decided not to hide his money, but to use it. He didn't go to gamblers. He didn't chase shiny promises. He went to people he trusted, fellow stonecutters, craftsmen, and traders he knew were steady and wise. He partnered with a man named Dalen, who carved garden stones. Elior gave him 30 coins to buy a better chisel and wood for delivery carts. In return, Dalen paid Elior 5 coins every month from his profits. Elior had never felt money come back to him like that. It was like planting a tree and finally seeing fruit. Elior now had something powerful, a cart. Think of it like this. You are climbing a steep mountain. If you carry every stone on your back, you'll break. But if you build a cart and put those stones on wheels, pulled by a horse, your journey becomes lighter, faster, wiser. Money is your cart, interest is the horse, and wisdom is the road you choose to walk. But not every road is smooth. One day, a man named Soren approached Elior with a golden promise. "Invest with me," he whispered. "We'll import rare spices from the east. You'll double your coins in a month." Elior was tempted. The profits sounded magical. But when he asked Soren how the trade worked, the man gave vague answers. He didn't know where the spices came from, or when they would arrive. Elior remembered the old man's second truth. Invest only in what you understand and with people you trust. So he said no. 2 months later, Soren vanished with the money of 10 other villagers. Sometimes, the best investment is the one you avoid. As Tony Robbins once said, "Don't try to get rich quick. Get rich right." Elior made it a habit. Save a coin each day. Put part of his savings to work. Watch the coins grow slowly but surely. He didn't get rich overnight, but over time, his pouch grew into a chest. And that chest grew into a room full of tools, wood, stones, and contracts. People started to come to Elior, not for silver, but for wisdom. Elior was no longer just a stonecutter. He was a builder, not of walls, but of a future. He had learned the second great truth of wealth. Money, when guided with wisdom, becomes your quietest and most faithful worker. In Part 3, we will see how Elior learns to protect his wealth and how not to lose what he has worked so hard to build. The third truth is not about earning or saving, but about guarding the door from foolishness. So stay with us. And if this story speaks to you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that wealth grows not by luck, but by law. Hit subscribe to The Wisdom Path, where stories light the way. Part 3, The Gate and the Thief, How to Protect What You've Built. Elior now lived in a house of strong stone with a roof that didn't leak. He had tools, gold, and even workers who helped him run his business. But comfort, like a soft pillow, can make a man sleepy. And when you sleep too deeply, you stop watching the door. One evening, Elior was invited to a feast in the town square. There, he met a young man named Kalen. He was full of fire, dressed in fine clothes, and spoke of big dreams. "You work too slowly, Elior," Kalen said. "There's a faster way." Elior raised an eyebrow. "And what way is that?" "Trade gems, rare ones, from the mountains beyond the border. I know a man who sells them cheap. You invest 10 pieces of gold, and in a month, double that." Elior frowned. "Have you seen these gems?" "Well, no." "Do you know the man?" "Not really, but he's a friend of a friend." Elior felt a familiar chill. He remembered the old man's words. Only a fool lets gold walk into a stranger's hands without knowing where it's going. But still, the promise was tempting. So Elior did something wise. He didn't say yes. He didn't say no. He went home. He waited 3 days. He asked around. On the 4th day, word came. The man selling the gems had vanished, along with the gold of 3 merchants. Elior closed the window, bolted his door, and whispered to himself, "Guard your gold like you guard your soul, for both are easy to lose when you stop paying attention." Wealth grows only when protected from loss. It's not enough to earn money. It's not enough to grow it. You must also defend it, because the world is full of shiny promises, clever liars, and foolish shortcuts. And the biggest danger of all? Thinking you're too smart to fall for them. The fire in the fence. In the village, there once lived a farmer who built a beautiful barn. Inside, he kept his grain, his tools, and his savings. One day, a traveler told him, "Why spend gold on fences? Build more barns." The farmer agreed. He tore down his fence to save money. A week later, wild dogs came. They broke into the barn and ruined everything. His neighbor, whose fence was small but strong, lost nothing. This is how Elior began to think about protection, not as fear, but as wisdom in armor. He bought locks for his storehouse. He made contracts in writing. And most importantly, he sought the advice of people wiser than him before investing a single coin. As Joe Dispenza once said, wisdom is memory without the emotional charge. Think of your wealth like a garden. Saving is planting seeds. Investing is watering them. But protection? That's the gate around the garden. Without it, even the richest soil will be eaten by crows. Here are the 3 rules Elior wrote on a wooden board above his desk. Never invest in things you don't understand. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Take advice from those who walk the road, not those who talk about it. Wise mentors are worth more than gold. Reinvest, but always keep a portion safe. You don't put all your grain in one basket. Why would you do that with your gold? He followed these rules for years. When storms came, he was prepared. When others panicked, he stood calm. Many years later, Elior was no longer a stonecutter. He was a respected builder, a teacher, and a man of wealth, not just in coin, but in wisdom. One morning, he climbed the same mountain where it all began. The old man was there, older now, slower, but still sharp. Elior knelt beside him. I followed your truths. I saved. I invested. I protected. The old man smiled. Then you have done well. But tell me, what do you think wealth truly is? Elior thought for a moment. Not gold, not land. It's the peace of knowing you can take care of yourself and help others too. The old man nodded. That is the final truth. Wealth is not the end, it is the beginning of responsibility. And so, dear listener, here are the 3 truths of wealth. Always save a part of what you earn. Not tomorrow, today. Let your money work for you, not sleep in a jar. But only in fields you understand. Protect your treasure with caution and wisdom, because a fool and his gold are soon parted. Elior's story is not just his story. It's the story of anyone who chooses the long road over the shortcut, the honest work over the flashy promise, the seed over the stone. Wealth is not built overnight, but with these truths it is built. And once built, like Elior, you can pass it on. Not just the gold, but the wisdom. If this story brought you clarity, share it with someone who needs it. And make sure to subscribe to The Wisdom Path, where ancient stories become modern guidance. Remember this, gold may shine, but wisdom glows forever. Thank you for walking this path with me. Until next time, stay wise, stay grounded, and keep building.